Well, this is our V-berth right now. It's kind of strange. It's almost like two singles. One side's a bit narrower than the other.
Which isn't unusual, but it is very unusual that there's nothing to fill in the V here, and these very tall, beautiful teak edges.
So it's almost like somebody could never bite the bullet to cut these, but we're going to do that.
How'd it go?
It went good.
We almost have a regular bed.
Yeah. I could build like a shelf and a locker and stuff there.
That's nice.
So like you can literally just...
Whoa! So I'm going to paint a bookshelf for the boys' room. Painting and filming is one of the harder things to do. The bookshelves are primed, and I'll probably finish painting them tomorrow. What do you think? What do you have?
A bookshelf.
So we recently discovered a new problem. What's new? Our windlass is...
No worky, bro. So it feels like it's hitting something.
Everyone is at the bow of the boat looking at the windlass. Would you like to come look too? What's happening now?
I thought it was just going to turn and go on.
I play with bolts.
We may need assistance.
Oh, the button pushes in.
But next I'm going to pull our heater out. So this is a Novacool 2600. Fits perfect, snug against the wall. But here it is here. So that was crap. So the master did this or something. But I can see right through there now. There's a few barnacles in there that's all cleaned up. Yeah, main goal now is tanks.
I'm Kate, and this is my husband Mick. Our kids, Thomas and Bentley, and my parents, Kevin and Shawna. We are 3 generations coming together to create the Cruising Meraki Project. Today is a very exciting day. We are heading to the boat. Me and the boys are just getting packed up and going. Mick is already there. And the goal for today is to start our engine. That's very exciting. We started taking the fuel tank out as soon as we bought the boat. So early February, end of January. It is now mid-April, so fingers crossed that everything works. It's got new fuel tank, new lines, new everything. Hopefully that bad boy just starts up and we're ready to go. Woohoo! Because we leave the marina in 2 weeks. So Michael?
G'day.
I was telling the good people of our exciting plans for today. What are our big plans?
Start the engine, mate. Did you know something weird? We've had the boat nearly 3 months.
I know.
And I haven't started the engine yet.
I mentioned that.
I haven't put the key in the ignition to start it yet.
It's a nice looking engine. Tell us about it.
We have an Isuzu 4LE1. So it's a naturally aspirated 2.2 litre, I believe, 4-cylinder, 50 horsepower. I was put in 2010, and it has done it's done 1,000 hours. 1,108. Yeah, it's just a baby still. I just have to change this fuel filter you brought out, and the vent line needs to be hooked up, but it kind of doesn't. Like, I can just leave it like that. Like, we're only putting 10 gallons in, so it's not like fuel's gonna spill back out.
Have you talked about this nice hole in the side of our boat?
So that's where our vent's going.
It's our peephole. We can shoot the pirates.
And there's our vent line that'll hook into it. It'll loop up and down so water doesn't splash in.
Okay, let's get that diesel fuel tank vent installed. Nice one.
So I'm just taping around it. So I cut the hole which exposed the raw edges on the resin, and then I just epoxied the inside just to seal it. And now that's set, I'm just taping around it, then I'm going to Sikaflex this on as well. So 2 lines of defense just in case.
But we're gonna put fuel in the diesel tank now?
Yep.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
That's fine.
Come on. This is an exciting
It
moment.
is very exciting. 3 months in the making.
Whoop, whoop, woo! Oh, big movement. What a moment. How does that feel?
Pretty good. I'm wondering if I should go in and just see if it's leaking where it's connected to the tank. It looks good.
This is the fill line.
This big one, yeah.
Sweet.
Look at that. Some protection where it comes in.
Yeah, that's smart.
Looks good.
Woohoo.
All right. We interrupt this programming for a special announcement.
While I was editing this video, it made me realize we really haven't talked enough about our amazing new fuel tank and water tank. Both were designed by Mick, and then we hired people to make the exact design. He's gonna talk a bit more about the new tanks, and I'm just gonna briefly tell you about the problems we had with our old tanks. So basically, when the boat was built in 1977, the original tanks were laid in the floor, and then the boat was built around it. So when those original tanks started to fail, a previous owner cut off the top of those tanks and placed new tanks inside the old tanks. For our water tanks, it worked pretty good. He had 2 smaller tanks that he placed inside the old tank. And for the fuel tank, he had a fuel bladder, which is kind of just like a fuel bag. And you can go back to some of our old videos to see exactly what that looked like. But that fuel bladder also started to fail and was dripping. My true point of pausing here in this episode, and what I truly want to fill you in on, is the incredible design Mick came up with, how he did that, and what our new tanks look like now. I feel like we've just skimmed over this amazing thing that we did.
For sure.
And it was maybe because it was so gradual over so many months that it was then hard to like pull that out and put it together.
Yeah. We started with the 2 little hatches, opening them up and seeing what we had. My first thought was actually to pull the 2 water tanks out and just replace them with something a bit bigger inside the existing tank. But the further we got, the more we realized, you know what, we're down here now, never gonna have this opportunity, let's just gut the thing. We started off with a couple of narrow tanks for the water tank that could be slid down, kind of 2 Vs. But the cost was just enormous to get just 1 tank built, so to then double that was crazy. The existing hatch that was here to gain access down was only about this wide, and then we also had a little one here that had access to the shutoff valve for the fuel line. We decided to cut the floor out. We actually had to cut through one joist which was right here, and I wasn't happy about that. I've made this piece removable. It bolts through the existing joists that are on the sides here, and that can just unbolt and slide down that way if we ever need to get this out again. It's not glued in or fixed in any way. So once we had that floor space, we then kind of had a measurement for where we could start with for the height, coming from the side of the hull up to this point here. So that kind of gave us our height of what we could actually slide down there. And then it was just a matter of measuring the companionway to make sure we could get it through that door, and then the length to make sure it fit down through the floor, and the height. Knowing that that was the biggest possible tank to get down, we actually built the water tank and the fuel tank exactly the same size. The water tank we got made and we built that out of plastic, and for the diesel tank we went with aluminum. So getting those tanks custom built, I was able to position where we wanted the fill spots, the vent lines, the pickup points. The water tank went in first. That is under the camera right now. So that tank slid down and then pushed up towards the bow of the boat, and that enabled the fuel tank to then drop in.
So that pretty much summarizes very briefly on how Mick designed our tanks, which everyone was very impressed by. He brought that template to the tank. There was 2 tank people, one for the plastic water tank and one for the metal fuel tank, and they were like blown away. His cabinetry skills came in handy. Yeah, I would say we maximized the space. We have 120 gallons of each, 120 diesel and 120 water, and I mean, it's brilliant. It's amazing what Mick did. I was very impressed. They look beautiful, they are functional. I don't think we could have improved on it to meet our needs anymore. It was perfect.
Now back to your regular programming.
How big is our diesel tank?
It is roughly 120 gallons.
Swish.
Yeah.
Are we gonna start the engine?
Yeah, we are. How do you feel? Are you nervous?
Yeah, it's gonna be loud. Is there headphones?
Why don't you guys go up top? Checking every single little hose clamp.
Yeah, I changed like 4 under me. This one, that one redid. Those ones were off. Those ones were off. These are all new hoses. So seawater pumps through these ones. And I filled the coolant up, but there's going to be air pockets in there, so I should probably start it with this open.
Really? Is that a good idea?
Yeah, it should be fine. So I need you guys to check something while you're out here. The exhaust is over here. There's going to be a massive puff of smoke, but I need you to check that water's coming out of there as well, okay?
Are you starting?
There's the glow plug. See it glowing?
What does that mean?
That means it's ready to start.
What?
Okay, ready guys? Ready?
We're all so nervous. Woohoo!
Is there water, Bentley? Is there water coming out?
Oh, it doesn't sound good. Oh no.
What? There's no water coming out. I think there was. Oh yeah, there's ripples. There is water coming out.
Okay. What happened?
What happened?
We don't know. Dad's thinking in his head.
Did it just stop by itself?
It did. What do you think happened? Any guesses?
Many things could have happened. Maybe it's just sleepy still.
So let's see if this has fuel in it.
What's that?
This is the primary filter. So this is the first one that comes from the tank. So if there was a line closed somewhere, actually there's a filter down there I can check to see if that filled up with water.
Water or fuel?
Fuel, sorry. Yep, there's fuel in that, so that's good.
Could it just be the delay of getting the...
Yeah, it could just be... It could just be low idle, and it just needs some revs to get going.
Is that supposed to be priming fuel through it?
Yeah, I'm just trying that to see if that works. Just letting it go for a bit. And then I'll switch back to the glow plug and try her again.
Hey, that sounds a little stronger.
It's running way better. So we've got water coming out. Not too much water flowing through there. Checking the water temperature. It takes ages to come up to temperature, that's why I've raised the revs a bit. I can put my hand on the exhaust now probably, it's fine. Yeah.
I almost think it ran better than when we took it on our sea trial.
It was really smooth.
Really smooth. Maybe it just needed an all new everything.
The filters were pretty ratty before. So a couple of things I want to work on is that air filter was vibrating a lot.
I saw that.
That's pretty good. We're ready to go. We could take it out this afternoon.
No, we couldn't.
Oh, we could. There's no one next to us now.
We could, in theory.
There's no one next to us.
I would be really nervous. It is great. Good work, Michael. All your hard work sure paid off. I notice whenever I'm filming, I call you Michael. It's really weird because I never call you that in any other time.
It's professional.
I guess so. Good job, Mick.
Thanks. Wow. Wow. That's pretty great. Yeah, we had so much riding on this working today, and we got 2 weeks till the boat moves. And the huge thing was to get the water tank done, the fuel tank done, the engine started.
Today was a huge win.
Yeah, it really was.